Hello friends, today we will see more about the remaining goddesses within the Navaratri celebrations. So the next one is Kushmanda or Gajalakshmi. Anda means egg. Okay, Kushmanda and Gajalakshmi, they will have one thing in common, which is they both should be holding a pot, a vessel. Okay, that is to represent the fertilized egg. Okay, and that's why they say this is she, Kushmanda or Gajalakshmi, are the ones from where the whole universe is born, yeah? And all the gods from these two, or this particular Shakti or that particular Lakshmi. Now, before we go further, there is one point to highlight here, because when we read the story of Gajalakshmi, they say that Lakshmi was offering flowers to the god, and one day she realized that there were some flowers missing, so she cut her breast and offered it to God. Okay? We have a similar story in Parvati, especially in Meenakshi avatar. So Meenakshi, when she was born with 3 breasts, and then finally when she met Shiva, one of the third breast disappeared. There should be something relevant here. Yeah. So as you can see in this first picture, there is something in yellow which is called as the polar body. Okay. So the first polar body was formed long time back. Okay. And there will be a second polar body which will be formed after fertilization happens. Okay. So first we look at the video and then I will explain.
At ovulation, a secondary oocyte is released from the ovary. This cell is not yet an ovum or egg because it has not yet completed its second meiotic division. It is in metaphase of meiosis II. When a sperm penetrates the secondary oocyte, this is then the stimulus for this oocyte to divide to produce the ovum. Now, this cell division is not an equal cell division, and so one set of chromosomes will be pulled aside and form a small cell known as a polar body. The first polar body, the one which had been produced during the first meiotic division, may also divide at this time. And so female gametogenesis does not produce 4 functional gametes as in males, but rather 1 functional ovum, and then 2 or 3 polar bodies here depicted in yellow. These cells will not take part in reproduction.
So, முதல்ல சொன்ன மாதிரி இந்த எக்கோட அந்த செல் ஸ்ட்ரக்சர்ல இது வந்து கொஞ்சம் வெளியில தள்ளிட்டு தான் இருக்கும். இந்த எல்லோ ஸ்ட்ரக்சர் போலார் பாடி இது வந்து பார்ட் ஆஃப் த செல், அது வந்து கொஞ்சம் வெளியில தள்ளிட்டு இருக்கிறதுனால அவங்க வந்து அந்த புராணங்கள்லாம் எழுதினவங்க வந்து அதை வந்து பிரஸ்டாட்டு உருவப்படுத்தி அதை எழுதியிருக்கிறாங்க. ஸோ ரியாலிட்டியில இங்க என்ன நடக்குதுன்னு பார்க்கலாம். இப்போ நம்ம இது வந்து தியரிட்டிக்கலா பார்த்தோம்னா, இப்போ அந்த இன்விட்ரோல இந்த செல்ஸ் வந்து ஃபெர்டிலைஸ் ஆகும்போது இந்த போலார் பாடி எப்படி ஃபார்ம் ஆகுதுங்கிறதையும் நம்ம பார்க்கலாம். இது போலார் பாடி, சரியா? இப்போ இந்த ஸ்பெர்ம்ஸ் வந்து உள்ள வந்து பெனட்ரேட் ஆகுது. இந்த செகண்ட் போலார் பாடி அந்த தேர்ட் வந்து ஃபார்ம் ஆகி டிஸப்பியர் ஆயிடுச்சு. இது வந்து 2 போலார் பாடி. இப்போ என்ன ஒரு பாட்டம் பார்க்கணும். இப்போ வந்து இந்த செல் வந்து ரவுண்டா இருக்குது. இப்போ இந்த செல் வந்து எப்படி இருக்குதுன்னா இப்படி, அதாவது லாக் போட்ட மாதிரி 2 சர்க்குலர் லாக் போட்டது மாதிரி, சரியா? அது எதுக்குன்னா அதுக்கு அடுத்தது வரக்கூடிய அந்த ஸ்லைட்ஸ்ல நம்ம பார்க்கலாம். இது வந்து செல் டிவிஷன். இப்போ வந்து செல் வந்து டிவைட் ஆகிட்டு போயிட்டே இருக்கு. சரியா? இந்த லாக் முதல்ல நான் சொன்னேன் இல்லையா, அதை வந்து அதோட சிக்னிஃபிகன்ஸ் என்னன்னு பார்க்கலாம் அடுத்த ஸ்லைட்ல. அதுக்கு முன்னாடி இந்த இப்ப இந்த ஆணுங்க கிட்ட இருந்து வரக்கூடிய அந்த செல்லும் பெண்ணுக்கு கிட்ட இருந்து வரக்கூடிய செல்லும் யூனியன் ஆகுது. சரியா? யூனியன் ஆகிதான் இது ஒரு குழந்தை ஃபார்ம் ஆகுது. அது என்ன ப்ராசஸ்ல ஃபார்ம் ஆகிறதுக்குன்னு பார்க்கறதுக்கு முன்னாடி இந்த படத்தை பார்த்துக்கோங்க. இது வந்து பின்னல் கோலாட்டம்னு சொல்லுவோம். தமிழ்நாட்டில் உள்ளதுதான். கோலாட்டத்துல ஒரு டைப். சென்டர்ல ஒரு தூண் மாதிரி கட்டி அதுல நூலெல்லாம் கட்டி குழந்தைங்க வந்து அந்த கோலாட்ட குச்சி வச்சு அடிச்சுட்டே இருப்பாங்க. அது ஏன்? அது வந்து நவராத்திரியில தான் பண்ணுவாங்க. சரியா? கோலாட்டம் வந்து நவராத்திரியில உள்ள ஸ்பெஷாலிட்டி. அது ஏன்னா நீங்க இந்த இதை பாருங்க. இது வந்து அந்த மேல் நியூக்ளியஸும் ஃபீமேல் நியூக்ளியஸும் எப்படி ஜாயின் ஆகுதுங்கிறத you will see.
Male and female pronuclei form spiderweb-like threads called microtubules pull them toward each other. Two sets of chromosomes join together, completing the process of fertilization. At this moment, a unique genetic code arises, instantly determining gender, hair color, eye color, and hundreds of other characteristics.
So now, I'm not sure if I was talking in Tamil all this time, but okay, I'll switch to English. If you have a closer look, what I'm trying to say is, here we saw how the male nucleus and the female one were combining together. And if you look at the structure here, you look at this structure, all the chromosomes connected together at one central point on one side. Yeah, this is the same structure what we have here on the right-hand picture, which is a typical dance form from Tamil Nadu, and it is called Pinnal Kolatam. Okay, Kolatam is something which the kids played, especially the female kids. The girls play with 2 sticks. And in this Pinnal Kolatam, they tie a rope to a central pole and then they go around clashing their sticks. We just have a look. So the logic is based on what we saw here. So now they are carrying the sticks. Yeah, let's have a closer look at those sticks. The sticks, as you can see in the left picture, are colored pair of sticks, and they represent the actual chromosomes. We all have chromosomes, 23 pairs, in pairs always, right? So 23 pairs, and the picture on the right hand side gives an gives the picture of the chromosomes. You compare yourself with the collatum sticks, yeah? And a chromosome is nothing but the DNA part of the genetic material of any organism or any living being or anything. Okay, so that is the thing which contains the code with which we all function. Now, if we leave aside the stick, there are other dance forms which we all have, let's say, spread across India. In Gujarat, this is called as the Garba dance. In Tamil Nadu, it is called Kummi. And in Kerala, it is called Thiruvadirai Kali. So what happens in these dances is that if you just remove the stick part, what they do is they use the hands. Okay, they use the hands to represent the chromosomal crossover. Okay, the crossing over of the chromosomes from the father and the mother, which I will cover later, but also the cell division. Okay, from one cell, it becomes two locked, and then they go separate, and then further mitosis happens. So let's have a look. So this is a dance from Gujarat, typical Garba dance. Okay, and now if you look at the Kummi from Tamil Nadu, it is the same. So here also they clap hands and they change the positions with the other players. Let's now look at the Kerala dance, which is the Thiruvadurai Kali. So what happens is, again, as we saw, the logic is the same. It has been, let's say, the same thing long time. It should have been. It has taken different forms now with a different culture and so on. Now, what is the logic behind this? Yeah? They are just clapping or, let's say, crossing over their hands with the other dancers. What really happens is a concept called crossing over. This is the logic with which the genes from the father and the mother are combined. Okay, when it is called crossing over. I'll give a short overview of that from a video clip here.
Once the two chromosomes have paired up next to each other, once the chromosome number 3 that you inherited from dad pairs up with the chromosome you inherited from mom, an event called crossing over occurs. And I think I can visually show crossing over better than I can explain. So let's go ahead and let me show you what I mean by crossing over. Let's zoom on into this tetrad that I have highlighted here. And here we have, again, in red, the chromosome number 1 that you inherited from your father, and in black, the chromosome number 1 you inherited from mother. The definition of crossing over is simply the exchange of genes. Watch what happens. During the process called crossing over, chunks of chromosomes will break off and reconnect. So a chunk of dad's red chromosome broke away and reconnected to mom's. A chunk of the black chromosome that you inherited from your mother broke off and connected to the chromosome you inherited from your father. Well, let's zoom back out and take a look at the entire cell. So now that we've zoomed back out, you can see the tetrad on the left has experienced crossing over, but the two other tetrads have not. So there you just saw crossing over occur, and here it is again. So now that crossing over occurs in each of the tetrads, what this does, I can't stress this enough, the importance of crossing over is it creates genetic diversity. Eventually, meiosis is going to create sperm cells and egg cells, and because of crossing over, each of them is genetically unique. At the end, they're all going to, all the cells that are made by meiosis are going to be different, genetically different, and you'll see that as we continue.
So the reason for this, the reason for the crossing over to happen is to have different offspring, okay? Not the same like the father or the mother, but a new one. That's why we all are unique. So now the next one. The next one is Skandamada or Santana Lakshmi. If you look at the pictures, they both will be holding a child in their lap, right? That shows that at this stage, the baby is already there. Medically speaking, a conception will happen only when the fertilized egg cell goes and gets implanted into the uterus, in the endometrium lining. But here, the egg cell, the fertilized egg cell, has got all the potential to form into a baby, and this is what is specified on this day of worship. So, literally, this Skandamada is also called as Shashti. Shashti is a folk goddess from Tamil Nadu. Okay? She is the mother of Lord Muruga. Okay? And this is from the rural traditions, okay? Long time back. So just look for the goddess Shashti in Wikipedia, you will see that. And in the Puranas also, it goes on to say that, okay, a baby is formed because Shiva marries Shakti and they both unite to combine to form a new seed, and Agni passes this seed to Ganga. See? Agni, the heat, is passed on to a river. Okay, a river. It can come only through a river, who carries into a Saravana forest. Okay, once it reaches that forest, it was so hot, and goddess Parvati took the form of the water body, became the water body, and nourished the baby, and then finally gave birth to Lord Durga. So this is the story behind. Now, one point which I want to highlight at this stage is now the cells start to divide. Okay, after union, it has become, let's say, one cell, and then from that, it divides into 2, 4, 8, and so on. And one point to again keep in mind is Navaratri is all about goddess Durga battling a shape-shifting demon, Mahishasura. Okay, so goddess Durga is fighting with the various shapes which are, let's say, going to take place from now on, and finally comes victorious. Okay, that's the reason why it is called as a shape-shifting demon. So here, I just want to show you how the cells divide in the picture format.
As their genes set aside to be turned on and off for early development. Here you see early cleavage stages occurring, and this is one of the early growth phases. As the embryo moves down the fallopian tube, it's going to form an important stage called the blastocyst here in a few seconds. Of course, in real life, that takes days, about 5 days. At this stage, then, I'd like to draw your attention to the inside of the blastocyst, where there are cells called the inner cell mass. which I'll be abbreviating as ICM. Those are the cells that make the entire animal. And the outer cells give rise to the placenta and other supporting tissues. At this stage, the embryo implants into the wall of the uterus. This is when a pregnancy is really initiated.
So, in the next round of video, we will see more about the next interesting avatars like Kali, Katyayani, and so on. Thank you.